Learning outcomes. After studying this module, you shall be able to know the specific needs of older people, describe how the needs of older people differ from the other segments of society, identify harmful effects of ignoring the need requirements of aged people, evaluate how need-based services uplift the physical and mental health of older people, apply the knowledge of needs of older people for development of various services and facilities for the quality of life of older people. Introduction. Needs are the driving forces. Needs stimulate people for change, and then change become an inevitable part of our lives. We all have certain needs, and when one need gets satisfied, the other, less satisfied, motivates people to work in the direction of its fulfillment. As per Maslow, needs works as motivating factors. When one need gets satisfied, person moves towards the other higher order needs. He said physiological needs, love needs, esteem needs, security needs and life satisfaction needs are common to people everywhere. However, he was contradicted for his pyramid of needs by Herzberg. Needs doesn't run in a sequence of order, rather they can run in parallel, or one can skip any need on the ladder and go further for higher order needs without satisfying the lower ones. It is a clue for individuality of an individual, where one person found himself more interested in earning money at the cost of relationships, and other person may leave money to save relations. Money becomes satisfier for one person and social relations for the other person. Need also change as people grow chronologically from one age to another. Need of a child are different from needs of young adult or older adult. In this chapter, we will focus on the specific needs of older people and talk about what are the needs of people who are 60 years and above. Thus, their needs are different from people from other age groups. How important these needs are for older people. How do the unfulfilled needs affect society? Does older people are capable of satisfying their needs by themselves, or a support from society is required? Specific needs for older people. Old age is the final destination of the lifespan of an individual. It is the time of physiological deterioration, change in the social status, and strength of muscles and bones. Usually, it is the time of dependence, social, financial and emotional dependence ranging differently for different people. There are many factors work as deciding force on dependency of older people, such as financial position, health status, personality, support system, etc. Chronological age is not the indicator of needs as longer, because health and appearance can be modified. Age is an individual matter and most heterogeneous in nature. Financial needs. Worldwide, old age is marked by poverty and deprivation. Most of the population of older people consists of women, high rate of dependency and illiteracy. Nearly half of the population of older people is dependent on others and 20% is partially dependent. Most of the population of older people has no pension or any other source of earning else than their saving, are bound to survive on the mercy of their children or close relatives. By Shivraju in 2002. According to the National Policy on Aging in 1999, in 1993 to 94, one-third of the aged population is living below the poverty line, and one-third population which is above poverty line belong to the lower income group. In the absence of any social security program, they have to move towards the old age homes for shelter. In Western countries, the position is slightly better than our country. They have a good social security system as special senior citizen financial program. In old age, many people are not capable of doing jobs because of poor physical health, but there are many who are capable of doing job but do not get it because of various stereotypes attached with the old age in our society. If they are living alone, then they have to spend on their daily living as well as on the medical treatment, and the situation will become worsened if they have to pay house rent. Women in most of the cases are living longer than men who financially depend on the earning of the husband and remain involved in household chores throughout their life. If husband was a government employee, then these women will get pension, which will help them in survival. However, the situation of old women whose husbands were small businessmen are solely dependent on the old age pension and mercy of their children. Financial crisis in old age is one of the biggest reasons for increasing prevalence of elder abuse. In India, Antodaya scheme is big help for senior citizens. Under this scheme, food is provided at subsidized rate to older people, especially destitute and marginalized. Comprehensive geriatric needs. Comprehensive geriatric needs or health care needs are other very important needs of older people. Aging is a biological process. As people grow old, their muscles get weakening, reduced body mass and muscle mass, tooth decay, loss of vision, hearing problems, loss of important minerals and calcium from the body are commonly come along with diabetes, high blood pressure, osteoporosis, fractures, heart diseases, urinary continence, falls, fecal, depression, dementia, etc. All these are related to each other. That is why older people need comprehensive geriatric treatment in terms of thorough assessment and treatment. Older population is increasingly rapidly and their issues are different from rest of the population. Therefore, they should be attended specifically. The neglect of health in old age can become cause for bigger health problem. They are at higher risk of acquired disability and cognitive and functional decline. Comprehensive geriatric assessment is a diagnostic and therapeutic process. It helps in ensuring that problems of older people are identified, quantified and managed appropriately. Usually, older people come with multiple overlapping problems, because of which it is essential to do the assessment across several domains, that is medical, psychological, social and functional domain. Therefore, several disciplines work together. In comprehensive geriatric assessment, a broad or multidisciplinary therapeutic plan to enhance recovery and promote independence is prepared. It helps in early diagnosis and treatment, which is most important in the case of elderly people. The above figure shows the shortage of geriatric specialists, which is one of the biggest reasons behind the wrong diagnosis and treatment of older people. Because of this, they come out of hospitals in a condition worse than they at the time of admission to the hospital. Dietary needs. Older people find it difficult to accept that their digestive system is not the same as it was 20 years ago. The digestive system starts weakening with age and it becomes difficult to digest everything. But in the absence of awareness and availability, usually older people eat whatever is cooked for everybody in home. The diet of older people goes with prescription they are following. Heavy, oily, spicy food is not recommended for older people, although the nutritional requirements of older people are similar to the general population. But some nutritional needs of older people are specific, such as energy. The need for energy food is lesser in old age, but the quantity of energy giving food is less than required, then it results in poor nutritional status. Similarly, the person age 65 and above need RDA, 300 mcg per day. Lesser intake of folic acid result in anemia. Usually people are not aware of the fact that 50% of vitamin C lost during cooking and storage of food. Vitamin C facilitates the process of wound healing and fight with infections, also helps in absorption of iron. A 100 ml glass of orange juice fulfill to requirement of vitamin C. Sunlight is the best source of vitamin D, but homebound or bedridden older people who cannot move supplemented with eggs or oily fish once in a week each. Bone loss is a part natural aging process. The calcium requirement of older people can be supplemented with 1 glass milk, 1 ounce cheese, a carton of yogurt and 8 slices of bread. Similarly, fiber is required for prevention of constipation. Lesser amount of fiber can result in bowel cancer, but higher intake of it can cause diarrhea. High fiber cereals and whole gram wheat can be used to increase the intake of fiber in food. In old age particularly, those who are suffering from severe illness of dementia, Alzheimer, etc., lost the sense of thirst, which will reduce the intake of fluid and cause constipation. A 6 to 8 cup of water is required daily for older people. A dietary change is required in old age as per to control weight, diabetes and other medical problems. The studies shows that food affects the quality of life, and a healthy food which is not liked by a person will not add up in his quality of life. Therefore, taste and preference of older person should also be considered while planning a diet schedule. Nursing needs. Older people suffering from chronic ailments in a later stage require assistance in activities of daily living commonly known as ADL. The functional status of a person may vary from limited dependence to total dependence on activities such as bathing, dressing, eating, walking, etc. Traditionally in India, there is a home-based care given by family members known as informal caregivers to the elderly member of the family. But now, due to shrinking size of family, especially in urban setup, informal caregivers require the support from formal caregivers, widely known as nurses, to take care of ADL needs of older people at home. Although it involves economically higher cost, but people are going for nursing facilities to take care of bedridden homebound older person. Another substitute of nurse are full-time house help. This option is quite cheaper, but lack of nursing skills result in poor quality of care and abuse. Social needs. A little bird that is in the cage with everything available to her except friends and family with whom she can fly, talk and sing. What do you think, whether she will be happy in the cage or outside the cage with lesser food and water? Birds, animals and humans, everyone feel happy when he is together with friends, family or loved ones. This need to be with others is known as social need. Social needs are things such as acceptance, appreciation, belonging and companionship. It is shown by several researches that social interaction provides many benefits to older people in the form of physical and emotional health and cognitive functions. It potentially reduces the risk of heart disease, some cancers, osteoporosis, rheumatoid arthritis, Alzheimer's disease, blood pressure. In old age, fulfillment of social needs is more important than any other age because it is time for retirement from job and family responsibilities. Therefore, it is associated with low status in society. Suddenly, person starts feeling isolated. Later on, it will convert into depression. Everyone in the family gets busy in their own life and do not spend time with elderly members, which will affect the mental health status. Even in the fast life, older people can be equipped with latest technology to be in touch with their family, friends and world in spite of their limited mobility. Family members and older person himself should take care of the social needs by joining clubs, volunteering in community service, daily visits in parks and participation in festival and family programs. The social involvement helps in maintaining physical fitness along with increased sense of belongingness and meaningfulness of one's life. Emotional needs. Most of the time people ignore the emotional needs of other person, which are more important than any other need. It is because of emotional bonding with the nation that soldier performs his duty in the temperature of minus 18 degrees Celsius or 52 degrees Celsius. It is the emotional bonding that parents sacrifice their own desires to fulfill the dreams of children and feel happy and satisfied at the end. A strong emotional tie helps in overcoming the highest obstacles and make toughest path smoother. Old age is a period of loss, a loss of life partner and social status because of loss of job. Therefore, in the absence of emotional support from related other person may feel his life as futile or meaningless. The lost charm in life enhance the probability of weak desire to cope up with health issues and family of social issues, which ultimately affect immune system and increase the vulnerability of diseases. However, there are incidences where people with strong willpower survive after cancer or other chronic ailments. An older person should feel that he is safe and he is surrounded by people who love him and his life continues to be meaningful. Meeting with emotional needs helps in avoiding mental health problems such as depression. Difficulties in sleep, poor appetite, inability to concentrate are some of the symptoms which show the need for emotional support among other people. Security needs. Security is an emerging issue among older citizens. Older people, irrespective of the financial status, like to be with their family and closer to their relatives because of security reasons. The rising cases of theft and murders of older people living alone enhance the fear of leaving family among older people. Many times they prefer to live with their children in spite of mistreatment and abuse because of the lack of security in living alone. Family provides the best support to the elder members, but if family fails to do so, then it is the responsibility of the society to provide security to its older citizen. Rehabilitation needs. Older people suffering from hip fracture or stroke requires rehabilitation care because it is highly effective way to bring them back into the active life. It is a way to improve ADL, activities of daily living, and IADL, instrumental activities of daily living. The person require rehabilitation assistance will be admitted to rehabilitation center where a care can be provided by the team of allied professionals such as nursing, physiotherapy, rehab physician or geriatrician. The aim of rehabilitation clinic is to provide maximum independence to the patient. It will be benefiting for older people with disability, visual or cognitive impairment, impaired or people with needs that can be met through appropriate technology. The focus here is on a person-centered care to maximize the independence and minimize frequent hospitalization. Skill development needs. A large number of older people, specifically older women, are illiterate and lack skill to earn livelihood. In the absence of employment opportunity, many of them live on mercy of their children or relatives. There is a need for skill development trainings and placement centers for older people as per the potential so that they would be able to live a dignified life. The skills such as basic computer, nursing, child rearing, homemade food preparation such as achar, papad, food processing, entrepreneurship, marketing, moral educators for young generation, etc. Few examples of the areas in which skills can be developed. Sexual needs. Most common presumption is that old age is meant for devotional activities and as people move towards old age, they lose interest in sex. However, several research studies show that interest in the opposite sex remains the same, but Because of social conformity and taboos, older people suppress their sexual needs. Women lost some interest in sexual activities due to hormonal changes after reaching the menopause, but men who want to gratify sexual needs feel oppressed by the society. Such oppression sometimes results into antisocial acts such as molestation or rape. The unsatisfied need lead to more frustration and mental health problems in later life. Robinson and Molson in 2007 indicate that almost 70% of men and 57% of women with an average age of 60 years cite sexual relationships as important to contributing to quality of life. Pete in 2007 founded that in 2005, approximately 7% of global HIV cases were adults who aged 50 years and over, that is, around 2.8 million older people worldwide. Mace and Lewis in 2003 found a relationship between the increase in case of HIV in older adults because of the reason that they do not consider themselves as risk of sexually transmitted diseases and aren't always aware of how these conditions are transmitted. With an increasingly aging population, it seems logical that the sexual health of older adults, if unaddressed, presents a huge personal and public health issue. Attitude of society. Several stereotypes deeply rooted in the society demarcate the productive utilization of expertise, wisdom and experience of older people. A person who was working as a doctor, teacher, engineer, police officer or administrator suddenly set free from all the duties after retirement. The person is same, but the retirement makes difference in attitudes of people. They start treating him as he is incapable of performing any responsible job now. People who give employment to older people give them a consolidated salary and feel morally high about them because of giving a job to the old person. Older people constitute a large number of population which is not the part of the active workforce. On there is a deprivation of skilled and experienced workforce. Therefore, there is strong need to change the mindset of people in society and provide opportunity to older people to participate actively in the workforce till they find themselves capable of doing so. Significance of need recognition. Need provides a drive to be progressive in a particular direction. In medical field, a doctor who is giving treatment without proper diagnosis will not only waste the time of money of the patient, but also make the patient more vulnerable to other diseases as well as deteriorate the present health condition. Similarly, old age is also a very sensitive stage of life in which individual is more prone to many biological, psychological and emotional problems. The poor diagnosis of need can result in sudden fall in general health of an older people and affect the functional capacity. In most of the cases, common problems of depression among older people can be treated with emotional support from family members. Therefore, due to the strong mind-body relation, the understanding of the need may prevent numerous physical and psychological ailments. Summary: older people constitute very heterogeneous group, have different needs. The needs of older people range from the need of food and shelter to financial, social, rehabilitation and emotional needs, etc. The absence of sensitivity towards needs of older people may result into lots of physical and mental health problems. The caring hand towards older people can provide a mind full of wisdom to the society.